Hey Sam! I'm glad to see you again. Today, we're learning the word
fragen,
Hi Alex.
Fragen.
What does that mean?
fragen,
means to ask. It's commonly used in everyday situations when you want to inquire about something.
So, is it only about asking questions, or can it mean something else too?
Good question. While it primarily means to ask, it can also imply seeking information or clarification. Just be careful because a false friend in English is,
fragile,
which has a completely different meaning. Now, let's dive into some grammar.
fragen,
Is a regular verb. In the present tense, you say,
ich frage. Du fragst.
and.
Sie es fragt.
Got it. What about the past tense?
In the Prateritem, it's
Ich fragte. Du fragtest.
and.
Sie es fragte.
For the perfect, you use
Hat gefragt. Ich habe gefragt.
means I have asked.
And how do you use it in the imperative?
You would say,
Frag.
for ask, when you're giving someone a command. The word
Fragen.
comes from the Old High German word,
Fragen.
which also meant to ask. It has been around for a long time.
That's interesting. So it hasn't changed much over time.
Exactly. The core meaning has remained consistent throughout its evolution, which is quite fascinating. Now, let's break down the word.
Fragen.
Consists of the root
Frag.
and the suffix. The root doesn't have a standalone meaning, but it indicates the action of asking.
So, you can't really split it into smaller meaningful parts.
Right. It's not a compound word, so we just remember it as
Fragen.
Speaking of similar words, let's explore a few. With the same prefix, we have
Anfragen.
which means to inquire about something more formally.
What else?
There's also
Nachfragen.
which means to ask again, and
Umfragen.
meaning to survey. Then with the same suffix, we have
Beantworten.
which means to answer.
That's cool. Any more examples?
Sure. We have
Verfragen.
which means to ask too much or too often, and
Herausfragen.
Meaning to elicit information.
I see.
Lastly, you might like,
Strafen.
which means to punish. So, the idea of action is quite consistent across those words. Now let's practice speaking. Imagine you're at a restaurant. You might say,
Ich frage den Kellner nach der Speisekarte.
which means I ask the waiter for the menu.
Okay, let me try.
Ich frage die Kellnerin nach dem Wein.
Perfect. That means I ask the waitress about the wine. Next situation, you're traveling in Germany. You could say,
Ich frage die Einheimischen nach dem Weg.
meaning I ask the locals for directions.
Ich frage die Einheimischen nach dem besten Restaurant.
Very good. That means I ask the locals for the best restaurant. Lastly, imagine you're at the doctor's office. You could say,
Ich frage den Arzt nach den Symptomen.
which means I ask the doctor about the symptoms.
And I could say,
Ich frage den Arzt nach der Behandlung.
Exactly. That means I ask the doctor about the treatment. Now, let's talk about gender hints. The noun form is,
Die Frage.
which is feminine. An easy way to remember it is that feminine nouns often end in German.
that helps.
For a mnemonic, imagine a question mark wearing a dress. About usage
Fragen.
is generally informal. You can combine it with phrases like,
Wie kann ich fragen?
meaning how can I ask, or
Ich möchte fragen.
which means I would like to ask.
And what about similar words?
Just remember,
Fragen.
is often confused with
Fragen.
for to request, but they are different in usage. Let's wrap things up with some example sentences.
Ich frage dich morgen.
Means I will ask you tomorrow.
And,
Hat mich gestern gefragt.
means he asked me yesterday.
Perfect. Another one is,
Fragt ihr die Lehrerin nach der Prüfung?
which means are you asking the teacher about the exam?
I see how it all fits together now.
Now, let's do a quick recall check. What does
Fragen.
mean?
To ask.
Correct. How do you say I asked in Prataritum?
Ich fragte.
Great. What's the perfect form?
Ich habe gefragt.
Nice one. Can you give me a sentence using
Fragen.
in the imperative?
Frag mich.
Exactly. Last question, what gender is?
Die Frage.
It's feminine.
You did fantastic today, Sam. The key takeaway is that
Fragen.
means to ask, and it's a very useful verb in daily conversations.
Thanks, Alex. I really enjoyed learning about
Fragen.
today.
I'm glad to hear that. Keep practicing, and see you next time.